We will learn about what is asynchronous programming and how we can do asynchronous programming in JavaScript. Then we'll look at certain examples, certain functions which are given to us out of the box, what is a set timeout function and then Ajax, and also promises and async await. So since this video will be too long, I'll break it into two parts. First we'll cover till Ajax, and then we will in the next video study about promises and async await. So let's get started. So what is asynchronous programming? So generally programs are executed line by line. So say you have a program of two lines, line 1 and line 2. So first line 1 will be executed. Once it's complete, then line 2 will be executed. So in a way, line 1 is blocking the execution of line 2. So general programming, what you would have done till now would be synchronous in nature, unless you are an experienced programmer. But if general programming that we write, we assume that line 1 will be executed and line 2 then will be executed. But asynchronous nature of programming is bit different from line 1 and 2, like in synchronous, where what we say is line 1 might be executed after line 2, right? So we say that line 2's execution is not dependent on line 1's execution. So in a way, asynchronous programming is non-blocking in nature. So lines are not blocked, but what happens instead is that different code is being registered, right? So once we will do certain examples, then we will clearly understand what I mean. But from a definition perspective, what we are trying to do is, maybe you have 5 tasks to do in your program. So in synchronous you will do task 1 2 3 4 5 in this order, right? But in asynchronous, what you can say is that a task 1, I am just registering it, I am not doing it. I am doing task 2, then I am task 3, I am just registering it, not doing it, then 4 and then 5 and then 1 and then 3. So it depends how much time the tasks will take, right? Some tasks you can just do on that one, sometimes you just register and do it later, right? So very good example to understand this is in the real world, where we, in a restaurant, if there are like 10 people ordering, so first person will order and the restaurant person will take the order, and then it will give he will or she will give the person a number, a token, and then the second person can order, and then second person will do the same, and then third can order. So nowhere is that the restaurant order taker is not waiting for first order to finish and then only it can take the next order, right? So the person is just taking all the orders, like all the tasks that are given, and then executing it in the background, right? Similar in very high traffic websites like Ubers and Twitters and etc. There are so many requests coming to the server, so server cannot wait to process all the requests on the go, right? It has to wait, it has to take all the requests, register all the requests, like a restaurant owner is taking all the orders, cannot say no also, right? Then he will lose the customers, but then process in the background, and then whenever done, then let the customer know. So very similar concept is there in JavaScript. And since JavaScript is on the web, where there's a lot of high traffic events happening, it makes a very important use case that this kind of event driven asynchronous programming is used. So two very good examples in JavaScript just to get started on asynchronous are set timeout function and Ajax. Okay, so set timeout, will just do a simple example, then you will understand, right? So I will just put this here. So what I am doing here is say I'm logging something, and then I'm defining a function which just logs another value 2, and then set timeout. So set timeout is the magical function here, right? So how do you expect now the order? So first this will be executed, this is just defined, and then this should be executed, and then this should be executed, right? Asynchronous nature. But since I have defined this function inside set timeout, so what set timeout does, it makes that function asynchronous. So what happens now is my function is put on an event queue. So internally JavaScript maintains a queue where it pushes all the functions which are async in nature, all the tasks which are async in nature, right? So maybe in order example, restaurant order, you can think of the order is taking the person is taking all the order and putting them in different queues, right? Now similarly here, so the order of printing, what do you expect? 1 2 3 or 1 3 2? Let's find out. So you see 1 and 3 are printed instantly, and then 2 is printed after 3 seconds. So this is sort of an asynchronous programming where all the tasks you are taking, but you are performing tasks at a later point. Like this, my function is called after 3 seconds, right? So this helps us manage a lot of tasks. So say this task was a big task, and we also, this was we had to do it, but we didn't want that this does not happen, right? So what we could do is put that as a async task and put it on the queue, right? And then will be executed after the time. So we'll take another example. Say this is so on click me, some heavy function is run, and then a thing, a final output is given. So to see the source code, so what happens is, for just general purpose, we have put a very big function, so which takes some time, some computation is there, and then finally we log this new paragraph to the front end, right? So we'll see. So when I press click me, now I cannot do anything. See, so I was blocked by the JavaScript, and then see I clicked three times, but that it didn't print. It registered the event later and then printed it, right? So this is a very poor experience, right? Because we wanted this to happen quickly. In web settings, you cannot block the user on anything. If that happens, then the system will be jammed. And sometimes you might have seen in the sites load, you click some button and nothing happens, right? That is because they have not written JavaScript in a proper way. They have written in a blocking way. You can write JavaScript in a blocking way also. This is a blocking way to write it, right? But JavaScript gives you tool to write in a non-blocking way. So I've converted this code only to a non-blocking code. So what you can see very simply, what I have done is just remove that for loop from here and put it another function, and I'm calling that function in set timeout, right? And that set timeout I've set to 0, so instantly it will call, right? And here also, I mean, set timeout will always put it on a queue. In this example also, if I even put 0, I will still put it on a queue. It will not happen 1 2 3 will not be printed, 1 3 2 will be printed, right? Because that is the nature of set timeout. It always puts on the queue and then execute whenever the time comes. Here time is 0, so it prints 1 3 and then 0, instantly it prints. There were earlier example we saw 3 seconds, it took some time, right? So here that's what I have done. I put it on a queue and I put the time as 0. So what I want is everything should be instantly printed, and then this function should be run. Okay, let's see if that helps. You can see instantly I got the result. I don't have to wait like here to wait for some time, but here I did not, right? So this is the power of JavaScript. We'll just see another example to close this, right? Just few definition callbacks you saw, right? It's a function that we want to call after that event. Like in here, my function is a callback function. So these are certain definition you should understand. So set time out function takes two arguments. One is the callback function and one is the time when you have to execute it, right? After how many times. And yeah, so that is a callback function. Blocking code, we saw how generally we write blocking code. You can convert it into blocking code using some techniques like set timeout. And another example of asynchronous programming in JavaScript, very popular, very important, very much used, is Ajax. So we'll just see if we can use this, right? So here what is happening is I am making an Ajax request and fetching some data from the server, right? So here the Ajax request is created and fetches some data from about Ajax background, nothing, just a way to call the server without loading the page. So it's a new sort of way to use JavaScript, but it's just JavaScript. It's not a new technology, right? We'll have a separate discussion on Ajax, but for now you can just think of it as executing JavaScript asynchronously, right? Like in set timeout, here also we can do that. So here what I am doing is I am creating this request, sending this request, and also registering what to do with the response, right? And you can imagine that first this, so we will see the order of execution. So a request created, right? And then maybe I can say here response received, and then response request sent. So you can see that I am writing what to do with response before I'm sending the request. It cannot happen. First request will go, then the response will come from the server. But you can see that order of writing it, again that line 1, 2, 3. So it's not that line 2 will be executed before line 3. So first line 1 and then 3 and then 2, and this is what happens here. So we can see the console. You can see request created, request sent, and then response received. Of course in this order it will happen, right? But you can write in a different order. So yeah, this is it about asynchronous programming in JavaScript. 2 examples we saw, and next we will see how we can use promises and async await. Yeah, thanks.